Aloha, welcome to MoonDaze here on New Paradigm Healing Academy Facebook group live, later to be uploaded on my Akashic Astrologer YouTube channel. I am Queen Mabsy, Michelle Jericho Poplar of Queen Mabsy LLC, here to tell you about this week's astrology. We just came out of Solar's eclipse. I was out sick for a while there. The eclipse occurred for me in a spot that activated a natal placement. That is where I have the lunar apogee, which is Lilith, or the farthest point away from the earth. When I was born was at 15 degrees Leo, so it was 5 degrees away from the solar eclipse, which occurred at 20 degrees Leo. Now, what does that mean? Well, for me, it meant facing some fears around my careers, because it was in my 10th house, fears of not being able to show up. Well, I guess what? I could not actually show up. So, am I still alive? Yes, I am. So, there we go. And grow. So, you know, how these things, when these series of fortunate events happen, well, it always correlates to the astrology. If you had anything occurring for you in your life over the 12th of August period, anywhere between 7 days before, 7 days after, when it has to do with the eclipse of the moon crossing in front of the earth, in between the earth and the sun, it is basically your feelings, the shadows of feelings that have not been addressed, and how that might have shown up for you would be correlated to a place in your natal birth chart. Normally I am outside, but I needed to be somewhere a little bit more quiet because there was noise. So here I am inside in a secret location. Not so secret. Anyway, I am still somewhat delirious, as I had a very high fever and for many days, and I'm coming back online into my body, as it was definitely it was definitely intense, but we go through these intense things to transmute and alchemize. What it was is a lot of pain in the back of my neck, a lot of well, we have the sun crossing into Virgo now, as we are in happy birthday, Virgos. Guess what Virgos rule? They rule the gut. They go with the gut. They rule daily routines and the manini details and all those lovely things. Gotta love me those Virgos. Virgos keep the world running, and they do. Virgos definitely are caretakers of everyone. You want something, you want everything nurtured and cared and taken care of. You get yourself a Virgo. Virgos can manage and micromanage everything. And a negative expression, they can be very analytical and know-it-alls. You know, as in they, and most of the time they do know. They know everything, and annoyingly so, but they will hold space for you, and they are very mutable in their earthiness. So you can also count them to be adaptable when it comes to the the ways that they do show up and nurture and caretake. All the Virgos, we would not have all of the systems and order and place in the world if we didn't have Virgos. So yeah, Virgos definitely important. They are the halfway point of the year, halfway point of the zodiac. The opposite sign of Virgo is Pisces. So you think of the most earthy, logical, grounded people, that'd be the Virgos. But if you think of the opposite, that the esoteric, dreamy, airy people, that'd be the Pisces. That'd be me. So, you know, Candace is the Virgo, I'm the Pisces. So I'm out here in the cosmos going, woo! So Virgos, happy birthday. And also, it's lovely for you that the North Node, or the South Node rather, the South Node is not in your sign anymore, as you've come out of that 18-month journey of releasing and removing old daily routines and practices, and following the collective call of the Pisces North Node transit. Now we are at the new cycle of 18 months of the North Node in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo. So now it is the time for us to remove the old ego patterns. If you had any tests when it came to removing old ego patterns over the weekend, that would have been because the sun, as the sun crossed over the 29th degree of Leo and moved into 0 degrees Virgo, you would have felt a shift or a necessary letting go of some old. As we have the cycles that are unfolding for us this week, we do have a lunar eclipse. Now, it's been a long cycle of about 2 years where we've had these lunar solar eclipses happening in the axis of the Virgo Pisces axis. And this upcoming lunar eclipse on August 28th is kind of the end of this culmination of lessons that we've had through the eclipses through Pisces. This lunar eclipse, so this is when the shadow of the Earth is blocking the light of the sun that is reflected upon the moon. And Earth represents reality. The moon represents feelings, and the sun represents the heart of the manner, ruled by Leo. So, what does this upcoming eclipse mean? Now, if you want to go back and look at my monthly video, I did a very in-depth deep dive of these eclipses and the big transits this month. So go ahead and go back and look at that if that serves you. I will briefly go over what this lunar eclipse in Pisces is doing for us. Now, we have Mercury in the mix, because Mercury's in Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So the mastermind, the messenger, the cosmic messenger who can go from the depths of Hades to the center of the sun. Mercury can go anywhere. That's why Virgos are so versatile and quick-witted. If you have Mercury in Virgo, you're probably very sharp. Very sharp. So utilizing this, when Mercury is in the what we call Cassini, or in the area where he's next to the sun, the mind, the thought patterns can overwhelm the heart. So being aware that the thoughts are going to be pretty large and in charge for this eclipse, that you're going to need to really focus on the practice when they're unpreferred thought programs. I suggest. You don't need to. Why am I saying you don't need to do anything I tell you to do? Everything I say is just a suggestion. This is for entertainment and entrainment purposes only. You know in your intuitive gut what is best for you. But, just as a, the energy signature that is there with the sun being Mercury, that will definitely, in my personal experience of tracking the planets, that the thoughts are loud. So thought patterns are loud. So where do I get this from? Who does it belong to? How is it for me? And do I believe it 100% to be true? Let the thought patterns that don't serve dissolve away. And with the moon in Pisces, like it's at 4 degrees. So the lunar eclipse in Pisces is about belonging, and belonging in Pisces, that is the spirit, that is the ether, and the shadow of the tangible reality, like how we're feeling about the spirit, and even like, how are we feeling about what happened over those last 18 months of our lives, with the nodal transits there of what we were collectively moving to, and how do we see and perceive our visions, Pisces, and what does it all mean? Those questions are going to be coming up because Mercury is with the sun, and what do my feelings mean? The question might be popping up in your brain and consciousness. With Mars in Cancer, the nurturing of the self-nurturing actions will really serve and heighten the purpose. We have the Uranus trine Pluto, and Uranus and Gemini. Gemini rules our hands and what we, and our thoughts too, and our our ideas, as Gemini is also ruled by Mercury. So how we're innovating, there could be some hard shifts that need to be made when it comes to the need to innovate and transform in your community. The Chiron, the healer at 0 degrees Taurus, is in a nice trine harmonic to the Sun and Mercury. Chiron is currently retrograde. We're rethinking our manifestation containers when it comes to, are these thoughts the most loving and nurturing for the manifestations that I have going forward. With Saturn and Neptune retrograde, and we have the Mars square Saturn. So that is, Mars in Cancer square Saturn in Aries. Now, Aries is the body. Aries is the ego. It's action. And Saturn is the structures. Saturn being retrograde is pulling back. It's like whoa, 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 Mars and Cancer. You think you're gonna catch that wave forward? Well, we got some. For me, literally, like I was like gonna try go surf, but my body was like, nope, nope, you gotta rest. Still gotta rest, man. Because we're in the hospital, you gotta rest. Okay, then fine. You know, like literally, like can't surf forward just yet till we get those bodily structures and sleep. If you've been sleeping a lot, expect to still be sleepy through October, because Neptune retrograde in Aries it's a marathon, not a race. So the collective is being called actually to sleep more. So don't feel bad or guilty for needing a few extra Z's and snoozes, because that's frankly what Neptune retrograde is calling for. You might also have been noticing around us here in Hawaii, we had a lot of storms. It's either super stormy or super dry, and you can see that around the world with the forest fires and in Europe and in the that's something that has been occurring and will continue to occur through these 14 years of Neptune in Aries. That is just the energy of like flood or fire. So this is just the cycle that the Earth is in, paired with allegedly. I believe it to be true that humans have been kind of doing a little bit way too much messing with our atmosphere. So, you know, the things that we can do to shift into the new paradigm, where these old paradigm programs have been showing their faces of the how you say, in the external world, you see the suffering of that, like fires, floods. Just remember, be grateful for your safety and your community, and you know, do what you can to keep yourself in alignment, and with each person being aware and holding the space for their own alignment and the alignment of their family. This is the things that we can nurture and that we can control, because you know, we don't really ultimately have control at the end of the day, do we? There needs to be a lot of surrender, but you know, with the Virgo season and the micro movements and the, you know, paying the bills and the sweeping the floors and the doing the things, long-term planning. Plan to change your plans. Sure, plan. But plan to change your plans. Don't get upset with plans shifting and changing, and there being uncertainty, because the nature of the transits, it is shifting. Things are shifting. Things are changing. This is part of the evolution. And this is why I've been called to do these updates, because if it helps one person, I've done my job. And for those of you who I was supposed to be on at 4, now I'm on at 5. But anyway, I digress. So let's go into the monthly, how you say? Okay, we're today, Moon Day, August 25th. Oh no, wait. Sorry, it's the 24th. Monday, 24th. And we have Moon in Capricorn. Capricorn. Moon in Capricorn, and it is in opposition to Mars in Cancer. So if you're feeling like your new, I had to go to the bank today. That's so Moon in Capricorn. Anyway, so Lilith is actually wrapping up her 9-month transit in Sagittarius. So she is a trine to the lunar node, Mercury, and the Sun. So those fears around your connecting to your spiritual feelings, maybe if you want to get together with some friends for the full moon on Friday, that might ease the fears, or for some of you that might make it worse. I don't know. Anyway, so moving on to Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday, August 25th, the moon will be wrapping up in Capricorn and getting ready to cross over Pluto. And as there are aspects between Pluto and Uranus, Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, know that, some dark shadows in the collective, that'd be Pluto retrograde, around beliefs, your feelings around the beliefs of the collective. Every time the moon crosses over Pluto, you're gonna feel something will be revealed in the collective. And then on to the 26th, Wednesday, the moon will cross over Pluto in Aquarius, and we will be feeling that activation to Uranus and Gemini. Lots of air energy. Things could feel lighter as the day goes on. Then on Thursday, the moon will still be in Aquarius. Moving on to Friday, the moon will cross over the North Node in Aquarius into Pisces, staging ready for the lunar eclipse, activating 4 degrees Pisces and 4 degrees Virgo, with Mercury at 5 degrees Virgo. 4 is about belonging. So where do your feelings, your spiritual feelings, belong? Where does your heart and your daily routines belong? It's about belonging. Letting go of the old ego with the South Node in Leo, and moving towards a new collective paradigm that's more inclusive. And that is could be why there's a trend of the pronoun they. Maybe some people feel like they're more part of a collective than an individual. Might not just be so much about gender. It might be more about feeling more part of a whole consciousness. That's just my take on it. And Saturday, this moon moves through Pisces. We will continue to process the lunar eclipse. Now, wherever 4 degrees Pisces and 4 degrees Virgo falls into your chart, whatever house placement that it is in, that is how this lunar eclipse is going to affect what sector of your life that this lunar eclipse is going to affect you. And if you have no idea where that is, then you can book a reading with me at michellejaragopoplar.com. then you can find my booking link and book a reading with me. I'll put the link in the comments below, or the show notes below if you're watching on YouTube. On Saturday, the moon will move from Saturday into Sunday into Aries, and then it will be meeting up with Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Now, hopefully that will bring us more energy, because it's Aries. It depends on your placement of your Aries house and how this Neptune retrograde and Saturn retrograde are aspected in your chart, how that's going to affect you directly. For the general collective reading, I will say that, you know, the moon is feeling. So you really, because of these big heavy hitter planets being in Aries, when the moon crosses over these planets, it will activate those things. So you're going to see probably, hopefully not more floods, hopefully not more floods, but, you know, the possibility of more water, or more confusion with the feelings around the structures because of the retrograde motion of those planets that could occur. So, you know. And Venus, we haven't even talked about Venus. She's been kind of cruising in Libra at home in Libra. She's kind of home. She rules Libra. She lives Libra and Taurus. And Venus has been hanging out, watching all of this unfold on her TV with her popcorn. You know, not taking any sides, because when she's in Libra, it's the scales, right? So she's like, oh, I'm just staying in my lane with this one, guys. You'll figure it out. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just gonna have fun watching all of this go down, and it's not my kuleana or responsibility at this time, but I'm gonna just keep enjoying being in Libra and enjoying beauty and all of that, because I am. And then Jupiter, we didn't really talk about Jupiter. He's aspected, he's in a trine aspect to Saturn, and he's in Leo. So Jupiter has been expanding. He's expanding on, so we're simultaneously, as interesting as the South Node is in Leo and Jupiter is in Leo. It's like you're getting an ego expansion, but at the same time, you're getting your ego checked. So, we collectively, because, you know, it affects all of us. The Leos, you know, you're going to be an expansion on your beliefs of what you love. And then, you know, the North Node, or the South Node rather. The South Node is clearing out like those old ego. It's like, you know, you don't want to be selfish. You don't want to be selfless either. You want to be, you don't want to be self-centered, but you want to be centered in self. So this is about what we're finding with the Jupiter in Leo and the South Node transit. It's like letting go of the misaligned aspects of Leo. And Leo's the only sign ruled by a star, right? It's ruled by the sun. So you guys are stars, you Leos, and you know, you hold the light, right? And sparkly and shiny, and yeah, we want to expand on that sparkly shininess, but but not negate. But however, we are also in a humbling, not in such a way where you don't celebrate your wins, or put yourself out there. It is more about not being superficial. It's about authenticity, right? You know, like if you're not expanding authenticity if we're not expanding in our authenticity over the next 18 months, then the South Node transit's gonna be hard for you, right? So focus on authenticity, being centered in self, and centered in self, as in centered self, not self-centered, or selfish or selfless, right? But centered in your soul, in the sun, the soul. So the sun represents the soul, and the center of your soul is, seat of your soul is your heart. So yeah, anyway, hopefully all of that helps you out. And for those of you who are watching later, aloha, thank you, mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. I love you, aloha, happy moon days.